Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, August 14th. This will be a technical analysis breakdown, so if you're someone that uses charts within your trading, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this would be a video for you. And also, if you trade Bitcoin, I will do a bonus analysis at the end. First off, a couple clarifications. Number one, the candlestick you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But like to these videos when the market is still open, because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, ticker symbol DGLY. Quite the eventful day on this one. Big move up, and now it's come down a little bit, but within doing so has created a good solid pattern. So let's get this pattern mapped out. First part of the pattern is the resistance portion of it right there. And then the secondary pattern, or part of the pattern, excuse me, is the support part. So let me change that to green to represent support. And then to maybe make it easier to see, let's keep this all the same color. So we have our, that was a pretty terrible line. I'm going to try it again here. We have our resistance. We have our support. We have the huge explosion right there. And then for you golfers out there, try to make a little bit more visual for you. Put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So while there are no guarantees in the market, is it plausible? Is it reasonable to think that if the price comes up here and then breaks up through there, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a valid conclusion. So if you like stocks down below $3, you like bull pennant patterns, keep an eye on it. Next one here, ticker symbol LUMN. Very, very nice day today. Offer up a little bit more context here. You can see that it's been hovering around and then came up here and broke through that level, and then has just really been having a good overall day. But the price is now approaching a key level here that I've talked about in past videos. So if you've watched those past ones, hopefully this sounds familiar. But now it's well within striking distance of that red line right there, value of, we'll call it $5.85. Going back here, you can see a couple of times the price tried to get through it, couldn't quite do it. Does not mean that the price cannot break through this level, just saying that according to the history of things, the price really is going to need to bring its A game if it's going to be able to battle through that area. So keep an eye on that, but you got to think there's going to be a lot of breakout players watching that area. So again, a potential self-fulfilling prophecy where if the price comes up here and breaks through it, people are just going to buy because, hey, I'm a breakout trader. Oh, look, that's breaking out. Oh, I'm supposed to buy. And then they buy, which just generates, like I said, that much more momentum. So keep an eye on that 585 mark as one of those levels that could cause that. And then in terms of areas of support, really two main levels. The muscle level, I would say, is down here at 422, just because, that would, that's essentially kind of the overall low. But as of right now, the price isn't anywhere close to that. The ideal level would be right here at the purple line, 50-period moving average, valued at 515. And I say ideal because if we say, Clay, what would make the chart look the absolute strongest? That would be if the price stays above that purple line. Now, if it falls below it, not the end of the world, because again, you have that level down there. But in terms of making the chart look the healthiest, would be staying above that purple line. But yeah, price is definitely closest to that 585 mark. So let's see if it can get the break on Thursday. Next one here, ticker symbol BURU. And once again, we have a bull pennant pattern. So I'm going to go through this one a little quicker because you've already heard me talk about this pattern. And I want to respect your time as much as possible. So there's our area of resistance. There is our area of support. Again, let me change that to green. And then to make it easier to see, let's go with the same color. So resistance, support, big move up, golf hole down here, another bull pennant pattern. So once again, same price range. If you like these stocks down below the $3 to $5 range and you like bull pennants, definitely keep an eye on BURU. Next one, ALBT, a penny stock that's having a pretty brutal pullback here. I mean, you stop to think about the fact that the price gapped all the way up here and was around this range. There were some poor souls that were buying there. Hopefully they had stop losses because it has dropped and dropped and dropped. But from the big picture point of view, this is still in an overall uptrend because the price still has plenty of opportunity to build a higher base. The price is still nicely above its overall moving averages down there, which you now know, pink line, 200-period moving average, purple line, 50-period moving average. So it's still got some, again, keyword here being overall bullish dynamics going on. But once more to reiterate, that's a matter of perspective. Day traders that bought right there, and we're looking to buy and sell within 7 minutes. From that perspective, there's nothing really bullish going on here at all. In fact, it'd be a train wreck. But from that dynamic here, we'll see if this pullback can, try to level out. If there is going to be any sort of, turnaround, I think that resistance line right there is a good potential, leading indicator of the strength returning back to it if it can break up through there. And then if you like to play pullbacks, in my opinion at least, maybe you want to get a little bit more aggressive, but I don't really, this is price is basically in no man's land until it gets down to these areas of support, which I've already talked about. That still doesn't mean the price will bounce, but there's a little bit more logic to think that it'll bounce here rather than just kind of buying some random area like right here, because I mean there's just no other data that would suggest that there'd be any sort of support. But at least down in the moving averages, you do have some of that data. So if you like these situations where things are looking pretty rough, but overall there's still some bullish dynamics and you like penny stocks, certainly keep an eye on it. Next one, NVDA, and overall nice pattern here and a well-defined resistance. So as I draw this line, please realize I'm not trying to press you. I'm not trying to imply this is a special skill or great discovery. A lot of people have drawn that trend line, and I say all that because when a lot of people are watching the same levels and wondering the same thing, as I mentioned earlier, call it a self-fulfilling prophecy, call it whatever you want, it can produce some very dynamic movement. So if the price were to come up here and push up through that level, no guarantees, but certainly valid to think that a break of that level right there could indeed create additional buying pressure. In terms of areas of support, ideally speaking, in the sense of, what would make this chart look the strongest moving forward, definitely if the price can stay above that trend line. But from the overarching standpoint, just continue to watch that purple line right there, 50 period moving average. And as long as the price stays above there from the overall sense, then the big picture trend is still fully in the bull's favor. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down in the description box you can use, or if you're watching at my website, there's an area right there on the webpage you can use to sign up. So like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free class. Next one, ticker symbol SERV. Very, very nice start to the day. Gap up, and then it got rejected, pulled back, started to bounce, but that's where the wheel started to fall back off and has essentially given back all its gains, which now, if you don't like double bottoms, then you're not going to find much value. I would say that this one's probably not going to be on your watch list. But if you do like double bottoms, if you do like these, pullback situations, then I'm very curious about here at $10.10, or if you just want to call it $10. Can this thing get a little bit more ugly? Because no doubt about it, this right here, move up and then down, that's pretty ugly. But as you've heard me say before, there can be opportunity in the ugly. And the potential opportunity here is maybe a double bottom. We have bottom here, number one. If the price continues on down, then it just becomes a question mark of, is this a secondary bottom where the price is then going to get a bounce off that level? No guarantees that happens, but it's valid. It's plausible. Why is it plausible? Well, simple. It's happened before. It doesn't mean it'll happen again, but by no means is that some sort of random area on the chart. So if you like these potential double bottoms, if you like these opportunity in the ugly, definitely keep an eye on this one. Next one, TSLA Tesla, and a rough day here. Started off that opening 30 minutes, big plunge, and then middle of the afternoon, not necessarily as big of a plunge, but another move down. On the bright side of things, at least the price has finally started to go sideways. So maybe this downwards pressure is done. But I also want to zoom out here just to kind of illustrate that the price is now getting close to an interesting trend line. At least I find it interesting. You're, of course, more than welcome to disagree with me, but and let me just change that up a little bit. So we have this overall support line right there from the trend line standpoint. And then big picture wise, 191.75-ish is more of a muscle level, but as of now, price isn't anywhere close to it, so no need to really put any more time into that. But in the very near term, that trend line right there is starting to come into play, and you can see that over the history of things, it has done a good job of forecasting where the strength has been. So if it pulls back a little bit more, as I've said, no guarantees, but certainly plausible to think that the price maybe stabilizes out and then gets a bounce back to the upside. In terms of areas of resistance, key level to watch from that angle, right up there at the 203.50 mark, so keep a close eye on that. But like I said, in my opinion, the most interesting dynamic about this one right now is all about that trend line, so let's see what happens in regards to that. Next one, EJH. And this is just a crazy looking chart, very ugly. And this is one where I understand it's probably not for most people, but once again, the idea of a watch list is to find those unique and interesting situations. And in my opinion, this is a very interesting situation. Absolutely destroyed yesterday. But what gets interesting here is just check it out, destroyed, pretty still nasty selling. And then today, look how small this range has gotten. And it's been going sideways. Now, let me be very clear, and I wish I could say trading was this easy, but just because the price has gotten smaller in range and has gotten, just kind of started to go sideways, does not mean for sure guaranteed the bottom is in, and for sure guaranteed this thing is headed back upwards. It just comes back to that whole idea of plausibility. Case in point, let's just say the price still was looking like this right here, and then I'm sitting here saying, hey, it's looking like this could be a bottom. You'd be totally justified to say, what are you talking about? Based on what? The price is literally just dropping straight down. Well, that's not the case here. It has at least started to go sideways. in a tight range. So is this the leading indicator that the bottom's in and this thing's getting ready to, take a bounce? Even if it's just a dead cat bounce from a trading standpoint, that's all we need. So if you find this interesting at all, you like penny stocks, then certainly keep an eye on it. Next one here, AMC, and want to get things updated as it's been a while. But the first key level that you got to think everybody and their brother's uncle is watching is right here around $5.18. Just going through the history of things, you can see resistance didn't quite hit it. Resistance went slightly above it. Resistance went slightly below it. Hit it directly. Hit it directly. So moving forward, any sort of breaks of 518 would be considered a breakout. And then again, to bring up that talking point of the self-fulfilling prophecies, that could be one of those self-fulfilling prophecy points where people are buying just because they're breakout traders and, oh, look, it's breaking out. In terms of areas of support, and I'm definitely taking this from more of an overarching standpoint because I don't do this one nearly as much as I used to. Oh, so it's actually broken down through that trend line. I didn't realize that. Did I just grab the wrong low? Yeah, there we go. That's what I meant to grab. So we have this low right here, which is allowing this trend line to be built. And I would definitely say that's a very important level, because if the price were to come down here and break down below there, at that point, you're starting to throw the chart into kind of this just void of darkness. Not a whole lot of data. That does not mean that it'll for sure drop straight down, but things definitely would get a little bit more sketchy if the price drops through that trend line right there. But as of right now, as I speak, good solid afternoon. The price is recovering upwards. Can it recover enough to get up there and do battle with 518 on Thursday? We'll see what happens. Next one, TQQQ, and overall, yeah, that gave up its gains a little bit today, but the chart continues to do the most important things. Put in these higher highs and put in these higher lows. And as long as that's the case, that truly is the name of the game, and you're going to want to continue to watch that dynamic moving forward. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of these lines down there as they serve their purpose, and we'll zoom in here a little bit more to get, I guess I didn't need to go that much closer. There we go. But nothing fancier. The first area in terms of establishing resistance, basic question, where did the party finally stop today? And that was right up there at $64.65. So keep an eye on that from a resistance standpoint. And then in terms of areas of support, we'll go back to that whole idea of kind of those ideal levels, and then, and then the levels that you definitely want to see hold. So ideally speaking, what would make the chart look the healthiest? Certainly if the price can stay above that trend line right there. But if the price does fall below it, by no means the end of the world, because you have all sorts of moving averages below it. You have the 200 period moving average, you have the 50 period moving average. So lots of supports down below the price. So, it's not like if the price falls below that trend line, then it's game over or anything like that. But all in all, I think the most interesting dynamic is how this thing continues to put in those higher highs and higher lows. And if it's going to get ready to put in a higher high here, public enemy number one is 64.65. I'm in a new office, and I think the lights keep going on and off. So if the lighting has changed throughout the video, that is why. I'll look into it and get it figured out. But for you, and I should know, I'll get to Bitcoin here in just a second. But for you stock traders, again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely go get signed up for the free class. It'll be very soon, Thursday, August 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern time. So I hope to see you there. And then as far as, it being a genuine live event, I say that because bring your questions. There will be a Q&A session, and I'd love to answer your questions live. All right, now let's talk some Bitcoin. One quick clarification here. I am now using the 4-hour time frame. So each one of these candlesticks, instead of representing 30 minutes, represents 4 hours. And that's because Bitcoin is open 24/7. And I want this video to remain relevant for as long as possible. So really, basically, the price continues to chop back and forth. And there's a couple different kind of questions I'll walk you through. And I'm just going to assume you're watching this video 15, 20 hours after I upload it here. So question number one I want you to ask yourself is, where's the price at relative to 57,500? So that's question number one. If you are answering the question that the price is above that area, then overall, everything is still fine. I mean, is it exciting? Not necessarily, because if the price is down here, that's not really exciting. But it's at least still healthy because the price is still staying inside of this current sideways channel pattern that has officially formed over the past several days. So in other words, right now, I am focusing on a sideways channel pattern. Bottom of the channel, 57,700. So as long as the price is above that level, then that implies the price is still within the channel. On the top of the channel, we have the pink line up here, which I've talked about several times now, and that is the 200 period moving average, and let's just call it up there at 62,900. So if you're answering the question, the price is down below there. So in other words, you're watching this 20 hours from now, and you're saying, well, Clay, the price is up above here, it's down below there. Well, then that would just be consolidation. That'd be the easiest way to understand what was going on. In any way, if you're saying the price is down below there, or up above there, then you have a breakout or a breakdown. If you're answering the question that the price is down below here, you'd have a breakdown. How bad of a breakdown? Well, how far down below 57,700 is it? On the flip side, how good of a breakout? How strong of a breakout? Well, how far above 62,900 is the price? But at the end of the day, right now, to summarize this, it would just be Bitcoins in a 4-hour sideways channel pattern, bottom of the channel support 57,700, top of the channel resistance 63,900. So that wraps up the top 10. Again, if you like what you saw here, then definitely go get signed up for this class. And even if you do just trade Bitcoin and crypto, what you're learning about in this class can and certainly should be used within the world of crypto and Bitcoin. So go get signed up. It'll be very soon, Thursday, August 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And like I mentioned earlier, bring your questions because there will be that live Q&A session. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button, leave a comment down below. Give me your watches for today. For tomorrow. Tell me what you traded today, or if you have a position you'd like me to do an analysis on, leave that down in the comment section, and I'll do my best to get to that in a future video. So thanks for watching. Go get signed up for the free training.